Back in Las Vegas, getting set for Mountain West semifinal number 2. The 3rd seed, Colorado State, going up against the Aggies of Utah State. Should be a good one. Next on CBS Sports Network. From Las Vegas, you're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. Good to be back with you as we get set for a late one here in the Mountain West semifinal number 2 from the Thomas and Mack Center between Colorado State and Utah State. A short time ago, you saw San Diego State, the top seed, advance to the championship game tomorrow on CBS. We're about to find out who is going to join them. And hi again, everyone. With Steve Lapis, I'm Andrew Catalan. Thank you for joining us for Mountain West basketball here on CBS Sports Network. And a lot of people around the country, Steve, are considering this a play-in game for the NCAA tournament. Do you agree?
I totally agree. I think the winner of this game is definitely in. Now, if Colorado State were to lose, there's a chance they still could be in. If Utah State were to lose, I think they're done because they have 2 quad 3 losses against UNLV and South Dakota State that are hurting them. No doubt in my mind, though, the winner of this game is going to be in the NCAA tournament.
Aggies coming off a quarterfinal win over UNLV, and what else is new? They like to go inside on offense.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, and they're very good passes, and they have different ways of finding Nemish Keita in the lane, whether he's posting up or whether he's making a cut like he is here and finishing. And then for Colorado State, it comes down to David Roddy. This kid has played unbelievably. He's a sophomore, first-team All-League, different kind of player. 6'6", 255, really moves well, moves his feet, can post up. Not an awful three-point shooter, but that's not his game. His game is getting to the foul line and doing things around the basket.
2 teams right around the NCAA tournament bubble. Both would love to get a win tonight and move on to the championship game at the Mountain West tournament. Moments away from tip-off from Las Vegas, Colorado State, the 3 seed against the 2nd-seeded Utah State Aggies. A look at the starting lineups, and good news on the injury front. Both teams in good shape. Kendall Moore came down awkwardly on his ankle in the quarterfinal win over Fresno State last night. He's fine. And Brock Miller, who did not play the 2 games to end the regular season because of a back injury, he returned yesterday, and he feels okay. You see our starting lineups brought to you by Kubota. Niko Medved in his 3rd season as the Colorado State head coach, and he's got a long history with Craig Smith, the Utah State head coach. They spent 4 seasons together as assistants at Colorado State under Tim Miles. Colorado State comes in with an 18-5 record. Utah State 19-7. The Aggies have won back-to-back Mountain West tournament championships, and there is a lot of interest, as we documented, around the country in regards to the NCAA tournament bubble. The winner of this one is going to be in pretty good shape going in to the selection show on Sunday, and the loser will have to sweat a little bit.
And the thing about it is, whoever wins this game is not going to get a bad loss tomorrow, regardless of what they do. Obviously, if you get the automatic bid, that's even better, but you won't have a bad loss if San Diego State were to win this championship. So this is a huge game for both these teams. Like I said, a little bigger, maybe a little bit for Utah State, because Colorado State could still be in with a loss here, but they're not going to sleep real good tomorrow night.
You look at the Aggies' resume, and the one thing that's lacking is a good win away from home. Their good wins have come on their home floor. This would be a big one. Neutral court against a Colorado State team we're underway.
And those 2 quad 3 losses are hanging over their heads a little bit too. And both these teams primarily man-to-man teams.
Marco Anthony had a great game yesterday in the quarters. His first shot is off the mark.
Yeah, you're right, Andrew. He was terrific last night. He was involved either passing or scoring on a ton of plays in that game.
First career double-double for Anthony, 15 points, 13 rebounds. These two teams met twice during the regular season in Logan. They split the two-game series. Shot clock's at 2. Roddy puts it up. And the rebound to Raleigh Wooster. Utah State has won 5 straight games, including the win over UNLV yesterday. It was a slow start in that game, and that's been a bit of a problem for Utah State this year. They've had some sluggish first halves. Craig Smith called it a bit of a root canal yesterday in the first half. And a block by Bean.
Well, you saw in that other play down the end, the Namish Keita trying to take it off the dribble, and down here, a good block. Justin Bean, who played well last night, made a bunch of like 8, 10-foot jump shots in that game.
Finished with 10 points, more. And there's Bean with the rebound.
One thing, scoring in the paint for Colorado State tonight going to be tough because Namish Keita, one of the best defenders in the country, 3 blocks a game.
Bean working on Thistlewood. Bean wins that matchup.
And that's what he did last night. Underrated 4-5, Matt. When you think about a great 4 and 5 combinations in the country, Justin Bean and Namish Keita, they should be up there.
Bean second team All Mountain West this year. Junior out of Moore, Oklahoma. There's Moores. Can't finish at the rim. May have been altered by Wooster.
Great
How about Moores?
He's tough. He was really physical last night.
He did a great job defensively against Orlando Robinson of Fresno State, and he's going to have another tall task tonight against Keita. And we have our first foul. Our officials for this one, David Hall, Michael Irving, and Bob Staffen.
Good defense there by James Moores, trying to get over the top of Namish Keita, which is what he has to do. He can't just let him catch the ball. That was good defense there. And one thing you'll see from both these teams, they do a great job of reversing the ball, as you saw right there in the half court, and moving that defense around. You got to try and move Keita around as much as you can, because you let him stand under the basket, it's going to make life miserable for you at the rim.
Colorado State has started 0 for 5 from the floor after that latest miss by Moore. Keita bounces it down low. Bean from a tough angle, and that won't go.
Keita, one of the best passing big men you'll ever see, averages 2.5 assists a game. He's second on the team in assists. Good pass.
Stevens in the corner. And Colorado State still can't get one to go down. Miller. Yes.
And Utah State, not a team that runs a lot, but that was an opportunistic run and a good finish by Brock Miller. One thing, this Utah State is a very underrated defensive team.
Only give up 62 points per game. That's top 25 in the country as Roddy misses. He had a slow first half yesterday as well against Fresno State.
The problem right now, you can see it already, Andrew. They're getting nothing in the lane. These are all forced jump shots because tough to score in the paint with that big guy there.
How about that? Keita showing off the mid-range.
Yeah, I mean, he can shoot that 12, 14-foot shot. The problem for Colorado State is they got to figure out a way to get some points in the lane. Right now, taking a lot of contested jump shots.
Stevens, tough pass. Moores makes the catch and scores.
Well, Keita came out to hedge that screen there and didn't recover fast enough to Moores, and they ended up giving up a layup.
After missing their first 7 shots, the Rams are on the board. Keita, cross-court pass.
Great
Wooster
pass.
for 3.
Keita has such a good feel.
Roddy uses the screen.
You know, Roddy is primarily a guy who scores off the dribble, getting to the basket. I want to see if he's going to be able to do that in this game.
Out of bounds to the Aggies, and that takes us to our first timeout, and a good start for Utah State.
And a lot of it is because of that great defense they play. A little bit of transition to Brock Miller there. And Utah State, Keita knocking down the jumper. 6-2, Utah State.
We've seen some great numbers by virtue of the Shot Tracker app on an iPad Pro this week during games for real-time analytics like shot charts and points per possession to help optimize lineups and play calling. What'd you see from the games last night, Steve?
Well, one of the things that we saw is the more passes you make, the more points per possession you're going to get, which I've been talking about for years, because if you move the ball and move the defense around, you're going to get better shots. And at Colorado State, they set a lot of ball screens, dribble handoffs. When they do that, they do much better on points per possession as opposed to just going out on the perimeter and keeping the floor spread. Using screens is going to create problems for a defense. So a lot of good things seeing there.
Their ball movement in the second half against UNLV was very impressive last night. Good shot selection. They average close to 17 assists per game, which is top 25 in the country. And they're off to a good start tonight, an early 4-point lead on Colorado State. Alfonso Anderson, the Mountain West 6th man of the year, has checked in for Craig Smith in Utah State. Keita cuts, locates Miller. Air ball by Brock Miller.
I mean, I don't even know how Keita knew Brock Miller was there, because he was kind of spun around, but he knows exactly where everybody is.
Tricky with Miller, and Craig Smith talked about this with us last week, or this week rather. You see Miller took one in the chin. Miller nursing a bad back, and they're worried about, with him on the bench, if that back will tighten as Wooster has to force one up, and that's a shot clock violation. And there, look at Brock Miller getting some support for that lower back injury that caused him to miss the final 2 games of the regular season. He did have 8 points last night against UNLV. But all of those points came after halftime.
Yeah, in the second half, he was very good. Let's keep an eye on this matchup with Deshaun Thomas, who came in the game for Moores. He had his best game of the season against Utah State.
A season high 15.
3 threes he made also.
And a foul is called, and that's going to go on Kendall Moore as Marco Anthony drew the contact.
Hey, Doug.
Anthony lost it, and the Rams could not save it. It was Isaiah Rivera who poked it loose, but the Rams could not control it. Stephen Ashworth has entered early, and you can't miss him with those bright green sneakers. Anderson gets it back and puts it in.
He's a great 6th man. He can make some threes. Not a great 3-point shooter, but he can knock those out. But inside, very, very tough.
There's John Tonje trying to work on Keita, and a foul is called. Keita does not agree. That's his first.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Tonje's very aggressive kid. Maybe got him a little bit on the head first, right there. Not much, though.
It'll send John Tonje to the free throw line for 2 shots. The sophomore from Omaha. Colorado State, one of the best free throw shooting teams in the country.
Yes, sir.
And I did it again.
You did it again.
79% on the year. Mack Shulga checks in for Wooster. Wooster really filled up the box score last night. 14 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds for the freshman.
I think a big thing right now is how is Colorado State going to score in the half court? I think they got to try and get some transition going a little bit and try and beat the big guy down the floor.
Queta defended by Thomas. Thomas harassing defense. Queta able to get rid of it. Shot clock at 5. Out to Ashworth for 3. Thomas has the rebound. Queta's got to be careful. He almost picked up his second foul, and now David Hall, the referee, stops play to wipe up.
No, he called a flop.
Oh, I thought he stopped it because there's condensation underneath.
He gave the flop signal.
It was a flop.
Who was a flop on?
Yep.
Huh.
Okay. All right. 8-3. 12:45 to go first half. Stevens. Oh, explosive move, and he finishes. Isaiah Stevens.
I like this kid a lot. It's sophomore. Actually, this sophomore class of Nico Medved has been terrific. And
Queta counted in 1.
you got to run the floor with this kid because he can really run. You got a 7-footer, long, athletic, that runs the floor. He slips off that screen. You know, that's the new move in college basketball, is that quick run out and don't screen, fake screen and slip to the basket. He does it well.
Queta's going to get a breather as Bean returns to the floor. Already 5 quick points for Neemias Queta, the junior from Portugal.
A little bit of full court pressure now. Now maybe they can attack that lane a little bit. Try and get something inside.
They're looking inside. They get it to Thomas. He goes to the hoop and he draws the foul.
Yeah, I mean, when the big guy's out of the game, that's what you have to attack these guys, is in the lane.
Deshaun Thomas, 2 points in the quarterfinal victory over Fresno State last night. Well, Paramount Plus is here. Live sports, breaking news, and a mountain of entertainment. Paramount Plus, try it for free. One more for Thomas, sophomore from Durham, North Carolina. Attended Hillcrest Academy in Arizona, where his dad was the head coach. Bean is fouled by Thomas. And he will shoot 2 when we come back. 11:59 to go in the first half. Back and forth between the 2 and 3 seeds in the Mountain West tournament. You're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. Tomorrow at 6 Eastern, we bring you the Conference USA Women's Championship game live from Frisco, Texas, as Rice takes on Middle Tennessee. And then CBS Sports Network brings you the 2021 Air Force Reserve CUSA Championship game as Western Kentucky battles North Texas. That's at 9 Eastern, with the winner going on to the NCAA tournament. Here in Las Vegas, Utah State has an 11-7 lead over Colorado State. And Justin Bean is at the line to shoot 2. we're being told the earlier flop warning was against Colorado State and Isaiah Rivera.
Yeah, they can't call it. They got to call the first one on a dead ball. Now, if it happens again, they can stop the play right away because it's going to be a free throw. But that one, they have to wait till the ball is dead.
Wooster's going to come back in, and Ashworth heads out. Two freshman guards, and they've done a good job for Craig Smith this year.
No, not this one, this one.
They've used this pressure a lot more as the year has gone on.
Tonje drives right at Bean, and Tonje can't get it to go. Followed by Thomas. Yes. Deshaun Thomas.
Ironically, they're getting something inside when Nemish Kate is out of the game.
That was sarcastic, wasn't it? Anderson. Oh, Tonje got a hand on it.
I like the transition. I think that's important.
David Roddy at the scorer's table. He's going to come in at the next stoppage.
I said this last night. Colorado State runs their offense very fast. That's a good move.
And Stevens gets it to drop. Stevens had a team-high 16 in the quarterfinal victory last night.
And it is in the second game Colorado State played against Utah State. He had 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. Almost a triple-double.
Deshaun Thomas is whistled for a foul, and that's his second. He's been playing well off the bench tonight. Yeah, that's a foul.
Let's see if Roddy can get going. Last night, same thing. He really, the first half, didn't do much, and then the second half,
he had a quiet 15 points, and then when Fresno State cut it to 1, Roddy scored the next 6 points. So he was there when they needed him. They want a little more from him, and then you see some blood coming out of the nose of Bean. So he's got to come out, and Cater returns.
You know a guy's a good player when you say, I don't know what he didn't do much. 15 and 17,
I know. Miller time from the outside as Brock knocks it down.
That's what he does. He's a catch and shoot guy.
Roddy wins that battle.
I mean, he's so good at putting the ball on the floor. I mean, for a big guy, he can handle, he's quick, he's got great footwork.
Anthony made a great move, but a little bit unlucky. That one did not drop in.
Look for Roddy to take Cater off the dribble. I don't know if Cater can guard him off the bounce from the foul line or top of the key.
From the corner, Tonje's 3 won't go. Long rebound out to P.J. Bird. And a foul called on Wooster. That's his second. Wooster's going to have to come out with those 2 fouls, and Mack Shulga back on the floor. And Bean still getting worked on.
This Colorado State team makes a lot of passes in half court. A lot. Good pass, good cut.
And a foul called as Bird was going up.
This is just a really good cut. Good eyes, good vision by Stevens.
Keep going, White. Keep going, White.
P.J. Bird provided a nice spark off the bench last night for the Rams. He had 8 points, made a couple of threes.
Yo, you hear that? You hear that?
junior from Houston. He was All-State as a senior at Bush High School. Keita gets it back, and now Anthony will reset. Miller wastes no time, hits another!
That's not even touching net. He stepped into that one.
Second triple of the half for Brock Miller. Roddy around Keita again. That's going to be a fun matchup that's developing.
He caught it on the wing, and they isolated him off the dribble. Tough matchup for Keita. I like this Colorado State team when they play small. No Moores in the game, no Deshaun Thomas in the game. Roddy's their 5-man.
Miller, heat check there, wouldn't go, but an offensive rebound by Anthony, who had 6 offensive rebounds last night.
Yeah, he hasn't really been involved in this game much yet. Good pass.
Anderson, no. And then afterwards, Keita bumped into Thistlewood. The Colorado State bench wanted a call. Instead, they'll get a bucket from Stevens and a timeout by Craig Smith. Rams bringing some energy. They have evened this one up at 19.
Gotta love Isaiah Stevens taking it in the full court. They're on a run, Colorado State. Tie score.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Kubota. Together we do more. By Army National Guard. The next greatest generation is now. And by AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
Back in Vegas, you're watching Bracket Week presented by Kubota. Colorado State started 1 for 9, but since then they're 6 for their last 9.
Well, in this situation here, Isaiah Stevens, look what he sees. He sees all this space here, and he knows what he's going to do. He's got his man backpedaling. He's already made a decision. I'm going all the way to the hole there and finishing that off.
6 points, 3 rebounds for Isaiah Stevens, the sophomore from Allen, Texas. Last year, the Mountain West Freshman of the Year. He averaged 13 points per game. Our producer, Jonathan Siegel. Our director, Andy Goldberg. Our entire crew, Steve Lapis, Andrew Catalan. Happy to be with you here late night for Mountain West semifinal number 2. Good news for Utah State. Justin Bean was having a tough time getting his nose to stop bleeding. He's now at the scorer's table, set to check in as Keita misses in tight.
Wow, you're not going to get a better look than that. And that's what they have to do. Nico Medved is getting away now playing small, which has helped his offense. So what does Utah State have to do? They got to make him pay for playing small by getting Keita going.
Here's Roddy, draws the double. Great pass. Bird bounces it to Roddy, right at Keita for 2 more.
Took it right to his body.
First lead of the night for Colorado State. And they've scored the last 6 points.
All of a sudden, David Roddy's starting to assert himself.
And you can hear the Colorado State bench making some noise on the defensive end. Anthony spinning and scoring.
Tough, very strong.
Roddy fakes the 3.
What a handle he's got.
Look at that. Doesn't get it to go, and he's mad at himself after those brilliant moves to get open.
He's got great feet. I bet he's a good dancer.
Wow, okay. We know he is a good football player.
Yeah, but he's got such good feet, he's got to be able to dance.
Miller again. Not this time.
Doesn't that go together, feet and dancing?
I think so. I think you're right. I'll give you that. Well, Anderson thought he got all ball, but instead a foul is called.
Tanjay's tough. He didn't play great last night, but he's had a really good year for this team.
That's the second foul on Alfonso Anderson. And Bean's going to come back in with some cotton dangling from his nose.
And Moores is going to be coming in for the shooter. I kind of like the small team.
Colorado State had lost 4 consecutive Mountain West tournament games before their victory last night. They've won the title once. That was way back in 2003. Ashworth for 3.
And he's had a great year shooting the ball, and he has not been able to buy one.
Yeah, he was 0 for 3 from deep last night. Moore. Oh, improvising for 2.
You know, I was just going to say Kendall Moore, who's been playing great, averaging 15 points his last 3 games, hasn't done anything, then he just does that.
It's a good thing you didn't say it.
I know.
Moore got a hand on that, and instead a foul is called.
It's one of those ones where I don't know how the officials saw that from where he was.
And that's the second foul on Kendall Moore.
Nico Medved doing the right thing, get him out of there. Probably for the rest of the half. Well, the way P.J. Bird has played, he can get away for a little while. I mean, Kendall Moore's a good player. They ran that last night, the same thing.
So well done by the Aggies as Bean lays in 2.
Good pass.
And a block by Bean. Last touch by Colorado State. Tremendous defense by Justin Bean.
Well, take a look here. You're going to see a great block by Bean.
Second team All Mountain West selection. Former walk-on. And deservedly so on scholarship. Anthony from the corner. And Roddy runs it out.
I think they got to get Kata some touches.
And Miller called for the foul. Not a good one out on the perimeter.
No, bad foul.
And that'll send Colorado State to the line for a 1-and-1.
The one thing you don't want to do with them is send them to the free throw line, one of the best in the nation.
Such a critical game, not only for the Mountain West tournament, trying to get onto the final, but for the NCAA tournament. Both these teams flirting around the bubble, whichever side you want to believe they're on. This would be a critical victory for whoever comes out on top. Miller doesn't hesitate. Well, that one not close. And Anthony somehow comes away with it. Wooster left alone. And he buries it.
Well, you see that all the time. The offensive rebound, everybody's scrambling. Guys all alone at the three-point line. And he makes it.
Neither team shooting well from deep. Utah State's 3 for 12, and the Rams are 0 for 5 from beyond the arc. Roddy. Oh, Kata smacks it. Shot clock at 5. Bird takes a bump, puts up a shot, nowhere close.
I got to tell you, I really like the small team better for Colorado State. You saw Roddy that time. He was going on Justin Bean, but Keita was in a position to help instead of guarding him.
How about Stevens diving? He touched it last, but great hustle by Isaiah Stevens. Love that effort. This is what March is all about. Stevens laying out here in Vegas. Coming up on AT&T 5G at the half, Adam Zucker. He's got the coffee on. They're staying up late in New York for highlights from around the country, stats and analysis of our first half here in Vegas. All coming up on AT&T 5G at the half. According to our Jerry Palm, he's got San Diego State as a 9 seed, Colorado State an 11 seed. He's got him in, and he's got Boise State and Utah State part of his first 4 out.
Yeah, but he's got Colorado State in as one of the last 4 in.
Sure.
So could they lose this game and still get in? Maybe. Utah State can't lose this game and still get in. This is a huge game.
You think Utah State is out with a loss?
I think Utah State will be out with a loss because they have 2 quad 3 losses. I think that really hurt them to UNLV and South Dakota State.
Well, Greg Smith's had a lot of success in the month of March since taking over as the Utah State head coach. He's 11-1, including a perfect 7-0 record at the Mountain West tournament.
But that was great defense by David Roddy that time. Here's the problem, Keita's helping now. He's going on Bean, and Keita's in a help position. Before, Keita was guarding Roddy. Couldn't help.
Stevens for 3. Yes! And that's the first 3 of the night for the Rams.
I'll tell you what, he is a really good player. And the thing I like about him the most is he's always under control. As fast as he is, he's a good player. This team is tough defensively too, Colorado State. There's a reason why they're having the kind of year they're having.
Keita spinning on Moores, won't throw. Roddy with the rebound, 1 and done, go the Aggies.
And by the way, people forget because we didn't have a tournament. I thought they were going to be in. They were 20-12 last year. Probably not an NCAA tournament team, but an NIT team last year.
They lost Nico Carvaccio. He was a big part of their 20 wins a season ago. Bird. 2 minutes to go, first half.
This guy's tough when he starts backing you down. He's so strong. Wow.
Bean, that's pretty on the baseline.
That is a tough shot. He made a bunch of those yesterday, too, on the other side.
Tied at 28. Bean with 8 points here in the first half. And Nico Medved calls timeout with 1:35 to play. We're back, and you like what you saw with Roddy going at Keita.
Yeah, I like it when Roddy is the 5-man for Colorado State because then Keita has to guard him. Keita has to guard him. Well, Keita does his most damage defensively. When he's the secondary defender, he helps. When he's the primary defender, it's all different because Roddy can use his body and the great ball handling that he has to get to the basket. That's why I like that lineup. And they are not back to it yet. Yes, they are. They're back to the small lineup now. They brought Tanjay in. This is the lineup that I like for Colorado State.
You know, with no fans in the building, you might be able to hear what you're saying.
He doesn't need my help. He's doing fine.
Roddy, not this time. And Keita clears.
And Keita did a good job that time, forcing him into a tougher shot.
Anthony will launch. And out of bounds, it'll stay with the Aggies. Utah State went 10-2 at home this season, and one of the two losses was to Colorado State. Bean quickly off the inbound. They have so much success off the inbound.
That same play, they got that last night twice.
Tonje straightaway three, won't go. Steve, for Colorado State, Adam Thistlewood yet to attempt a shot in the first half.
Yeah, he's one of their three best three-point shooters.
Roddy defending Queta. Queta over Roddy, no, a fight. Queta saves it to Bean. Shot clock turned off. Ashworth will shoot it.
Should have pulled
halfway
that
down and out. Offensive board. Bean tried to feed Queta, and he scores. 5 seconds left in the first half. Stevens trying to get to the hoop, and it won't go. That's how the first half ends. How about that gritty possession by the Aggies at the other end of the floor?
Yeah, all over the offensive glass at them. I thought they should have pulled it out one of those times and gotten the last shot of the half, but it worked out fine.
Aggies up by 4 at the break. Coming up, we'll send you back to our New York studio where Adam Zucker and the gang are standing by for AT&T 5G at the half. You're watching Bracket Week, presented by Kubota.
CBS Sports presents AT&T at the half. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
Well, I think we saw how Utah State is on the outside by just a smidge, looking in with how they ended that first half. Great possession, great flurry in the Mountain West semifinals. Colorado State and Utah State, a 4-point game. Adam Zucker, Monica McNutt, Wally Zerbiak, and Pete Gillen with you once again from New York. And Neemish Queta, 7 points, 6 boards, and Queta versus Roddy. I love it. Heavyweight fight to end our night here.
No, it's been fun, but also Justin Bean has been huge. And you know, Justin Bean does a lot out there along with Neemish Queta, and they're dominating the boards. They're up by 6 on the glass, 9-5 on offensive rebounds. Justin Bean is just a ball of energy. You want to talk about having a motor? I mean, he is all over both glasses. He's doing all the little things. I love how it's the lost art of the mid-range for Justin Bean, too. He's 4 for 5, 10 points, hit his 2 free throws. He's been very good. You can see the sense of urgency for Utah State. They really want to get into the tournament with this win.
It's not just because they're on West Coast time and we're on East Coast time, right? That's good energy out there. Remember, the Rams are slated as an 11 seed, so they got to win here, too. Oh, we're going to look back at San Diego State's win over Nevada in the first Mountain West semifinal shortly. Meantime, the Pac-12 saw top seed Oregon fall to Oregon State by double digits, so the Beavers get the winner between Colorado and USC. Buffs came out on fire in this one. McKinley Wright up double digits here. This guy had taken an elbow to the head, Monica. I bet he's still shooting.
Definitely, because shooters shoot to get hot and shooters shoot to shake off injuries. Knocking it down a little bit later. Drew Peterson, pull-up jumper. Don't tell me the mid-range is a lost art. And then you got Taj Edey. The layup, not just the layup, the and one. Big-time basket.
Big time, but Colorado got him. Quarterfinals of the American, Memphis only up 1. They're desperate at this point, but Isaiah Adams gives UCF the lead. Coach, however, Memphis making noise down the stretch.
Now, Adams, it's a dunk by Williams. Memphis up by 4. Boogie Ellis, I like his name. I love his game. Penetrate, no miss. Tap it in, little fella. Yes, send it home. Tigers. DJ Jeffries with the finishing touches. Throw it down, big fella, bang! Memphis advances. They're dancing in Memphis.
Yeah, they're going to face Houston. Remember, they almost got that big win on CBS recently. Meanwhile, Wichita State, you don't want to lose to South Florida. The Bulls take the lead. Michael Durr, but now the other way, Wally, final seconds.
Tyson Etienne drives. He is fouled. He would make both free throws. He had a game-high 20 points. So they have the lead by 1, and then good defense here. David Collins, he's called for the offensive foul. Wichita State escapes.
They sure do. Ole Miss among Jerry Palm's first 4 out. That's an opportunity then against LSU. Jarkel Joyner ties it up for the Rebels at that point, Coach. But, hey, Cameron Thomas still making noise.
Back to the corner. Thomas downtown got it. Tigers. Devontae Smart penetrating off the screen. Throws it down. U3. Bang. Darius Day with the 3. Tigers on a run now.
Whoa.
Nice finish. Trent Wofford grabs the offensive board. Finish.
Volleyball.
Tigers rolling.
Yeah, they're going to play Arkansas, one border battle to the next. How about this one? We got tempers, top seed Michigan and Maryland. Juwan Howard getting into a heated exchange with Mark Turgeon. Bench is clear. Howard gets ejected. And beyond that, Monica, Michigan got their win. And how about Mike Smith? He had 15 assists, one of them to Eli Brooks.
Yeah, that three was a part of the pull-away effort by the Spartans here. Smith hitting another one there. Michigan will play Ohio State in the Big Ten semifinals. I got some heat on Twitter for defending Juwan Howard. I don't have an issue with it. It's March.
Yeah, well, Mark Turgeon told him to never talk to him again. I would take that person.
Yeah.
That is violent. That's terrible.
Thoughts on those games, Wall?
Well, USC going down, that was a little bit of a surprise to me. I got to give Colorado a lot of credit. Everyone's been a little down on the Pac-12, but they have 4 good teams that are going to be going into this NCAA tournament that can possibly, I think, make the second weekend.
Pete?
Memphis, I like them now. They have to win the tournament probably to go to the big dance, but they're athletic, they're feisty. If you knock them on the ground, they won't quit. They'll bite you in the sneaker. So I like Memphis.
Ow. It seems like more effort on their part, doesn't it? All right, we also, of course, had that monster Oklahoma State win over Baylor. We're going to have highlights from our first semifinal next year on AT&T at the half. Colorado State and Mr. Roddy down by 4. All right, first Mountain West semifinal, Nevada. They got to win this thing. Facing San Diego State, Desmond Cambridge gets the Wolfpack within 5, Wally, but the Aztecs just smothered you.
Yeah, they smothered the guards who were big in last night's games. There's Matt Mitchell, who shows off his range, gets that bucket. Aztecs built an 11-point lead, and they just held on. Jordan Shackle to the basket. How about that, Pete? He's the best shooter of all time.
He's
and he can take it to the basket,
Ever
too.
a long time.
There he is. Jordan Shackle with the pull-up. Aztecs win. They're going to get the winner of this one.
The gentleman referring to a conversation that took place earlier. And by the way, the Aztecs get some extra rest compared with whoever emerges here between the Rams and the Aggies as we get set for our second half here. Monica, what are you going to be looking for out of the break?
I want to see which team can get the other to be rushed. When you look at it, both of these teams have done a good job of holding on to the basketball. 1 turnover for Colorado State, just 4 for Utah State. The only area in which the Aggies have created some separation, they have 15 second chance points compared to just 4 for Colorado State.
Oh, good point. Pete?
Killing them on the boards. You're right, Monica. Right on. The board's big for Utah State. But my thing is, Utah State, just go into the big guy. Let the big dog eat. Get the ball to Cada, and they win. Doubt about it. They have to double him, kick it out. The game is not that complicated, Adam.
Oh, really?
No.
Cada's missing layups, Pete.
Yeah, well, he's got to get a little deep. What?
He's missing layups.
All right. You don't want to take it out.
You don't throw the guy the ball when he's missing layups.
He's got to get a little deeper in the post, but he's the best player in the conference, no doubt about it. He controls the paint offensively, defensively. Get him the rock. Let the big dog eat.
One thing about Cada, which is very good for Utah State, he only has 1 foul. And he's protecting his fouls in the first half, so now he can be more aggressive in the second half. He has been tremendous defensively.
He's unbelievable.
There is nothing around the rim that isn't contested or challenged by him with his length and his size. Yes.
Wally, I don't know if I like that logic of stopping giving someone the ball because they're missing shots. Like, he's going to make shots in the second half. What if they did that to you, Wally? Unacceptable.
No.
It's getting
If
hostile.
I'm missing shots, then fine. Somebody else take the shot.
No way.
Adam,
you got to get hot. Give me a chance to get hot. Keep feeding me.
Wally's going to be crying in the
Okay.
corner now. We'll send you back to Andrew Catalan and Steve Lappin.
Getting ugly early.
We'll see you after the game.
Let's go.
I'm Switzerland. I'm not involved.
Thank you for watching AT&T at the half.
Back in Las Vegas, and here's a look at our first half numbers. Neither team shooting the ball well from the outside, and Utah State really hurt Colorado State in second chance points, plus 11 in that department. And hi again, everyone, with Steve Lappis. I'm Andrew Catalan. Back and forth, pretty evenly matched first half. What were your thoughts on the first 20 minutes?
Well, what you said there about the second chance points is huge. Utah State, one of the top rebounding teams in the country, number 2 in rebound margin. They out-rebound their opponents by over 10 a game. That's somewhere that Colorado State has to really tighten this up. They got back into a good flow in the middle of the half. At the end of the half there, they really gave them a couple of offensive rebounds, which hurt them. So they've got to hold their own on the glass against Utah State.
Time now for Stacking Up Stats. stats. It's brought to you by Pringles. How about 3 blocks for the Aggies in the first half?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they do. They do a lot of damage to you in the paint area, whether it's defensively or offensively. That's kind of who they are, and they've been able to do that in this first half.
Keita in the first half, 7 points, 6 rebounds. He has recorded a double-double in 7 straight games and has a good chance to make it 8 with the way he started. David Roddy provided some offense in that first half with 6 points. And the Rams will begin this half down by 4. In Craig Smith's time at Utah State, when leading at the half, the Aggies are 61-9. Looking to keep it going here in a critical game with lots of NCAA tournament implications. Offensive rebound by Moores. Roddy drops in, and a foul is called. Colorado State wants a goaltend on that shot. They're not going to get it, though.
One thing that we're seeing from David Roddy, what makes him such a good player, he's 6'5", 6'6", 250 pounds, and he puts the ball on the floor like he's a guard. And that ability to dribble the ball, you know, somebody once told me that the ability to dribble in basketball is power, because it allows you to go wherever you want. If you can bounce it, you can go wherever you want on that court, and that's what this kid can do.
And you spoke in the first half about the affection you have for Isaiah Stevens and David Roddy. Both of them are sophomores. And Nico Medved told us earlier this week that 2 of them have a maturity that's well beyond their years. You can see it on the floor, how composed they are as Anthony hits from the outside.
Well, that's why this program is kind of a year ahead of schedule, that you expect the team to be really good when they're juniors, but the team got really good when they were sophomores. They just need to be able to finish it off and get to the NCAA tournament if they can.
Thistlewood, wow. It's good. And that's his first shot attempt of the night.
And he doesn't usually take them off the bounce like that.
Big 3 by the junior from Golden, Colorado. Keita gets rid of it. Anthony having a great start to his week in Vegas. Anthony, not this time, tipped around and grabbed by Stevens. Stevens all the way. Roddy offensive board, trying to go up with it, and Keita altered that one. Keita drives in. Moore's got a hand on it. Now Miller from the corner. Once again, James Moore's getting it done on the defensive end, just like last night against Fresno State.
He's becoming more and more physical every game.
Nico Medved said that there's no player on the team that has improved more from the start of the year to now than James Moore's. Thistlewood again, not this time. Wooster limited by 2 fouls in the first half. That one will rattle in.
Good touch there by Wooster.
Stevens, high arcing shot from the free throw line. Moores tracks it down, tries to throw it off Wooster, and instead goes right to Miller. On the break, Keita up ahead.
Oh, wow. Did Kendall Moore get a piece of that? That looked like a flat-out dunk. Not what he does.
I think Moore did get a piece of it. Great play to get back there. Keita had a wide open look.
Isaiah Stevens got his hands full with Keita. No shot.
And Colorado State calls timeout. That was too easy for the Aggies and Keita.
Kendall Moore with the good hustle there. blocks the big man's shot. And then Keita with the layup.
Here we go. Big fella jamming in there. Oh my goodness. Can you believe this? Anything can happen in March. Well, on the East Coast, it's Saturday, which means tomorrow is Selection Sunday, 6 Eastern on CBS. Getting you set for all the madness coming your way over the next couple of weeks. How about some bid stealers out there? Memphis, they'll see Houston tomorrow in the American semis. Oregon State beat Oregon. They'll take on Colorado in the Pac-12 championship game tomorrow. And Georgetown in the Big East tournament final against Creighton.
Boy, I'll tell you, the teams on the bubble, the Utah States, the Colorado States, the Boise States, the Syracuse, all looking at your alma mater, all looking at those games there. I don't think if Memphis beats Houston on a neutral court, that will get them in. It's going to get them close. I think they have to win the American tournament.
Roddy follows his miss and was out.
I can't emphasize enough that Roddy was at his effective best in this game when he was the 5-man for Colorado State. Just look there. He's got Bean, and who's coming over to help? Keita. He's much better in taking Keita off the dribble without any help around.
Keita cuts. No good. Follows his miss. No. And Roddy takes it. And numbers for the Rams. Roddy comes to get it, defended by Miller.
Kendall Moore's been quiet in this game.
He's only got 2 points. And that's not going to add to his total. Colorado State has started this half 1 for 9 from the floor.
Kind of the way they started the game.
Moore still can't get on track. Keita with the rebound. That's the 11th rebound for Keita. He's 1 point away from his 8th straight double-double. Miller, step back, 3, yes! They will look at that at the next stoppage to make sure it was a 3. But in any event, it's the largest lead of the night for Utah State.
He's been solid.
11 points for Miller. A 7-0 run for the Aggies. Moores from the baseline, no.
Can't get any offense going in the half court at all.
Anthony, no look. Keita tied up inside, gets rid of it.
Good closeout by Thistlewood on Brock Miller.
Miller, ooh, he couldn't handle the pass cleanly, otherwise he was going up with it, and then a turnover by Utah State. Who will survive this game and keep their NCAA tournament hopes feeling good? Colorado State and Utah State late night on a Friday in Vegas.
I've got all my love to give. I will survive. I will survive.
You are watching Bracket Week presented by Kubota, and tomorrow at 1 Eastern we bring you women's hoops with the A-10 semis live from Richmond, Virginia, as Dayton takes on VCU and then UMass battles St. Louis. Well, they're expecting a big storm in Colorado, and if you watched the broadcast last night, we said that Nico Medved was saying that his wife, Erica, would have to do all the shoveling since he's here in Vegas, and then Coach Lapis went out and said, hey, Nico, you better go get a snowplow, and look at what Erica Medved tweeted last night. Hey, Coach Nico Medved, listen to Coach Lapis. Get that snowplow hired, or else you're a basketball analyst, you're giving marriage advice.
Hey, I know what it's like to have a basketball wife, believe me. You She does enough. She can't cut grass and she can't shovel the snow.
So Erica was on Team Lapis on that debate. That three's good and a big shot for Deshaun Thomas. Just his 12th three-pointer of the year.
Well, he made 3 against them in one of the 2 games that they played. He was playing well in the first half. He got those fouls, and it really kind of cut him off. Well, that might have been a charge.
No call there. 10 on the shot clock. Wooster fakes the 3. Tries to run one off the glass, beating the follow, no, and Thistlewood takes it down. Thomas again. Not this time.
Almost banked it in.
And immediately Thomas is whistled for a foul as Cato is trying to establish position. Third foul on Deshaun Thomas. Bean exits and Stephen Ashworth comes in. Ashworth is 0 for 6 from deep in the Mountain West tournament so far. And on the season, a 38% three-point shooter.
Yeah, he's as good as they have.
Keita with the jam. And that gives him a double-double for the 8th consecutive game. He's got 11 points and 11 boards.
Yeah, you let him start wheeling down there, you're in trouble.
Andre had it slip away. He goes to the ground trying to save it. And it was last touch by Keita, who was out of bounds. So it's Rams basketball.
Take a look at Keita here. That handoff, they faked the handoff. Took Deshaun Thomas out of any kind of position. And when you let this kid get that close, forget it.
Stevens through traffic with the left hand, no. Thomas, no on the follow, and then counted and one.
Deshaun Thomas, he was very active in the first half, and he's being very active now.
On the way to the game tonight, we were talking, and you said, what about the game Deshaun Thomas had when these two teams played? You were absolutely right. He had 15 in that matchup, and when he's been able to stay on the floor tonight and stay out of foul trouble, he's made a big impact.
Yeah, no doubt. But they got to make some stops down this end. They're starting to get to the big guy a little bit more.
Anderson straight away 3 is good. Tough shot, Alfonso Anderson.
And all of that started with the pass into the low post to Keita. It was like a hockey assist. It was a couple of passes later, but good things happened. Get the ball into the big guy.
Stevens. Ashworth's able to grab it. Ashworth bounces to Keita and 1! What a feed from Ashworth, and the finish by the big guy. Keita will have a chance at a 3-point play when we come back. Utah State has opened up a 12-point lead on the Rams here on CBS Sports Network. The next greatest generation is now, presented by Army National Guard, and we take a look at Marco Anthony, the junior political science major for Utah State, selected to the NEBC Honors Court Scholar Athlete, and having a great start to the Mountain West Tournament, a double-double last night. And he wears jersey number 44. Now, when you go around college basketball, you you read the media guide, and a lot of players will wear the number their father wore or a lucky number, but that's not the case for Marco Anthony. He wears number 44 because he always liked the Wendy's 4-for-4 meal deals. And I asked him last night, I said, is that really true? Is that real? Like, did you just make that up? He said, how could I make something like that up?
It's true.
So that's why he wears 44. Colorado State really struggling here in the second half. Just 3 of 17 from the floor, and another turnover by the Rams.
Look, this team, Utah State, has been really good defensively all year. Now a little bit change of defense. It's a good move by Nico Medved. Trying to change things up a little bit with a little extended zone. Hard to box out of this defense.
Anderson again from deep. Oh, he's dialed in. Alfonso Anderson with another 3. And it's a 9-0 run for the Aggies. Trying to move a step closer to seeing San Diego State once again in the Mountain West final.
They've really locked down in the half court in this half, Utah State.
Shot clock at 4. Roddy, and he's fouled.
I know Craig Smith was not happy with that call.
Steve, we pointed it out a couple of times, but Kendall Moore only 2 points, 1 for 5 tonight. They need him to get going here. He had 15 in the quarterfinal victory last night and averages 11 per game.
Yeah, I mean, he'd been playing great, but he can't get a look in the half court. And if they're not getting any transition, it's hard for him to score in the half court at his size, especially, again, with Neemias Queta standing in there.
Deshaun Thomas back in for John Tonje. (53-39) as we approach the midway point of the second half. Miller from the corner. Air ball, but Anthony's right there. Seems like we've said that a lot the last couple nights. Anthony is right there. He's been around the ball the entire tournament. Not this time for Anderson, but he gets the long rebound. Right back up, and offensive foul. Third foul on Anderson.
That is an offensive foul. Colorado State has to figure out a way to score in the half court. They've been moving the ball well, but just can't move this team around enough with that big guy standing in the middle of the lane like he is now. I think they'd give up a 3 to Deshaun Thomas as long as he can still be down there helping.
Roddy trying to split the double, and he's fouled. And that's going to go on Queta, his 3rd.
Now it starts to become a little dangerous. He's got 3 fouls. I like him to come out for a minute or so. Just to remind him, more than anything else, make sure you don't get the 4th.
2 shots for David Roddy. It's Ashworth that comes out. So it looks like for the moment, Craig Smith's going to keep Queta out there. And Roddy in double figures for the 11th consecutive game. He's got 10 points, and the Rams down by 13. They do have 3 wins this year when they've trailed by at least 10 points, including the largest comeback in Mountain West history when they were down 26 at San Diego State. So they've done this before. but there's only 9:35 on the clock. And the Rams are running out of time here. And what would be a damaging loss to their NCAA tournament hopes. Anthony. So tough. 7 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists for Marco Anthony.
Yeah, he can stuff a stat sheet pretty good.
Moore tried to slide a pass down low, out of bounds to Utah State. Nico Medved wanted a foul on Keita right there, and that would have been number 4.
That would have been 4.
Go to work, go to work.
This kid's been tough too, Anderson. Good sub.
Good defense by Roddy, strips it away, races up ahead, right at Brock Miller, and Keita got back on the defensive end.
They want a goaltender.
And then Wooster throws it off Roddy.
Well, the Colorado State bench thinking there's a goaltending here.
What do you think?
No, I think he got it before it hit the backboard. I mean, the timing was just right. I think it was just before it hit the backboard.
Close.
It was close.
5th block it goes down as for Utah State. They lead the Mountain West in blocks per game, averaging just under 5 per night.
Colorado State sticking with the zone, see what can happen.
Anderson with the left hand, Keita offensive rebound, put back not there.
Never was really able to gather himself.
8 minutes left.
8 minutes left at Colorado State, only with 40.
They average 75 per game.
And they've been over 74 straight games. Double dribble.
Takes us to a timeout. Colorado State has to get it together, down by 15 here in Vegas.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef? And by Pringles. Stack flavors, make new ones.
Late night Mountain West action from Las Vegas. Utah State leads by 15. Such a pivotal game. With the NCAA tournament selection show less than 48 hours away. You see what's at stake. The net ranking 48 for Colorado State. Jerry Palm has him as an 11 seed. He's got Utah State first 4 out, so does it flip? Who knows what will happen. But one thing we do know is that Craig Smith is very superstitious over on that Utah State bench. He's got different cups. He's got different mints. When things are going well, he drinks from one cup. When things are going bad, he tries to change the mojo, goes to a different cup. You laugh, but I'm sure you had some superstitious things as well in your day.
Coaches, we're all out of our minds. I had ties I wasn't going to wear because we lost big games in them.
Sure.
Threw them out.
Well, the Oakland Raiders, now famously now in Las Vegas Raiders, Al Davis back in the day, if they lost a road game, they wouldn't stay in that same hotel the next year. They had to change the hotels. But if they won, they were in that same hotel. Oh, Keita's got his big paws on that one. Another block. Thomas goes up. No. Roddy's blocked by Keita.
Yeah, this guy's tough.
Aggies on the break. And Anthony throws it to the bench.
I mean, you know, what are you going to do? There's not really much you can do. I thought Kendall Moore made a great move. And Keita gets rid of that one. Then they get the offensive rebound, and he gets rid of another one.
4 blocks for Keita tonight. His career high is 6.
And how many intimidations? How many does he make you miss just being there?
Yep.
just makes everybody better defensively. You can take more chances. Great shot.
That's a bucket for Stevens. He's in double figures with 11, and Niko Medved calls timeout with 6:33 to go. He's only going to have one timeout left the rest of the way. (55-42) Utah State in front, and Steve, they have really dominated from the start of this second half.
Yeah, I mean, they've been terrific, and a lot of it has been because of their defense that's made things easy for them on the offensive end. When that big kid is in the game, it just puts so much pressure on everything else that you do. Just a real problem for the other team. Now some pressure from Colorado State.
Thistlewood commits the foul. They just made a stat update, and it's now 5 blocks for Keita tonight, so he's 1 away from matching his career high. And a whistle and a foul inside on Deshaun Thomas. And that's his 4th.
Just trying hard to work at defending and not letting Keita catch the ball.
Thomas is going to come out with 6:06 to go. 9 points tonight for Deshaun Thomas. Anthony for 3. Let's see if the Rams have a late spurt in them.
Well, it's got to be, they got to start pushing the ball a lot faster.
Stevens hits again. 11-point game.
Now they're coming with that pressure again. Plenty of time. They just got to get stops and rebounds.
Aggies scoreless in the last 4 minutes. Anthony trying to change that right here on the baseline. Brewster deep 3. Keita the offensive board, and he's fouled on the putback.
That was some offensive rebound, let me tell you. And that was as big time a rebound as you're going to see. I mean, he goes up and snatches that thing.
13 rebounds in the game, 5 on the offensive glass for Keita.
There's a reason why they're one of the best rebounding teams in the country.
They have out-rebounded every opponent they've faced this year. And tonight, they are +8 on the glass against Colorado State. Producer Jonathan Siegel just told us that UC Riverside defeated UC Irvine defeated UC Riverside, which makes this the only game still going on in the country right now. We are 2:20 a.m. Eastern on the good old watch. 5 minutes to go here.
The boys in the studio keeping a late night tonight.
Boys and girls. Monica's there too.
Oh, that's right.
Amy Samuelson's producing.
Oh,
All-star crew back in New York.
good pass.
Moores.
Still not done yet.
Wooster right through, lost it going up, and it comes right back to Wooster, but he was out. So the Rams get the ball back with 4:40 on the clock. Still looking at Kendall Moore's stat line. Yeah. 2 points. Now would be a good time for him to knock down a couple of threes if you're Colorado State. Moore's around Keita, short. Roddy grabs it. Roddy trying to go up with it, muscles his way, and he's fouled.
That shot that Moore's missed was definitely due to the intimidation factor of Keita being there.
Roddy 4 for 6 at the line tonight. He's got 11 points, but he's taken 13 shots. He's 3 of 13 from the floor.
Really, his best stretch was that stretch in the first half when he started going off the dribble a little bit. And here's that pressure again.
Over 5 minutes now without a field goal for Utah State.
I think you get the big guy a touch somewhere.
And a steal. Stevens races in, and Stevens lays it in. 57 to 50.
I think this defense here has bothered Utah State some, and they have not gotten the ball into Keita at all.
A 10-2 run for the Rams. Keita's pass picked off. Roddy. Moore races up. Doesn't have numbers, so pulls it back. 3.5 to go.
Obviously, they got plenty of time.
Stevens comes to get it. Over to Moore. Moore, tough pass. Roddy makes the catch. Roddy up. Roddy missed it. Out of bounds. Last touch by Keita. It'll be Colorado State basketball when we come back, and the Rams are not done. Coming right down to the wire in Vegas. A spot in the championship game is in the air tonight. We're back with our Old Trapper player of the game. It's the big guy.
Yeah, he makes so many things happening for them on both sides of the ball. But what he does defensively, I mean, he does some great things offensively too, but what he does defensively changes everything.
With our shot tracker, powered by the iPad Pro, 16 points, 13 rebounds, 5 blocks. He's got a double-double for the 8th consecutive game, but this one's not done. The Rams have cut into this lead. It's a 10-2 run for Colorado State. They trail by 7, and they've got the ball. 1 timeout left for the Rams. Thistlewood, corner 3. Oh, that would have been a big one. Loose ball scramble. Wooster's fouled.
And a really good set play by Nico Medved there on that out of bounds. You're not going to get a better look than that for one of your best three-point shooters.
Thistlewood, a 39% three-point shooter, had a very good look in the corner, but comes up empty.
Back to the straight man-to-man.
Both teams in the bonus. Wooster rolls it into Keita. Keita locates Miller in the corner. Won't go. Roddy's there for the rebound. Stevens turns on the Jets. Hands off to Thistlewood. His 3 again won't go. And Bean makes it a one-and-done trip.
Yeah, I mean, for a kid like that, that's a pretty good shot.
And away from the ball, James Moores is whistled for a foul. So that'll be a 1-and-1 for Utah State.
2 pretty good looks by Thistlewood there.
He's 1 for 4 tonight. 1-1 for Keita, who yesterday picked up his 200th career block. That's the 5th most in Mountain West history, and 5 more added to his total tonight. He entered the Mountain West tournament with 75 blocks, which is more than over 200 teams around the country.
Yeah, he's a special defender.
Roddy had it taken away by Bean.
Time to eat some clock now if you're Utah State.
9-point game with 2 minutes to go.
And you know, when you got a guy like Keita down low, the end of the shot clock, just go there.
Miller for 3. And Stevens tracks it down. They got to go quickly.
Quick.
There's Stevens. He's quick. Oh, Keita!
Out of nowhere.
Block number 6. That ties a career high. Wooster the other way, out of control.
Big mistake there. You got to pull that ball out.
Stevens can't hit the 3. Moore had it, pulled it right back out. He had a lane to the hoop. Now Moore drives in, and Keita with another block.
You can't go in there. I mean, that's... You got a foul.
7 blocks for Keita. That's a new career high.
I think you have to foul now.
1 minute to go.
But now you don't want to foul. But you did want to foul at the beginning of the shot clock.
And then they foul with 7 on the shot clock.
And if you're going to do that, you needed to do it 20 seconds ago. I mean, this guy, I mean, I thought Isaiah Stevens had a layup, and this guy came out of nowhere. And then on Kendall Moore there, he was on him the whole way.
Career high 7 blocks. Colorado State was called to have the basketball, but they'll look at the monitor for this one with 52.3 on the clock. The 7 blocks is a single game school record for Utah State. He's 3 blocks away from a triple-double.
And how many, as we said, how many intimidations did he have?
Barring a crazy comeback here, it looks like we're looking at Utah State and San Diego State in the final for the 3rd consecutive year.
It looks like there it was off. I think it was off Roddy.
On the court, it was called Colorado State basketball.
Great job by Bean, by the way. They did not do a good job boxing him out initially.
Bean is a rebound away from a double-double. He's got 10 points and 9 boards.
This is so hard.
Tough to tell if it touched Roddy's foot on the way down.
There it looks like Bean, but who knows what happens there. Well, it didn't really, I don't know, did it, right there, that's the one. Yeah, it might be off Roddy's left arm. Look at that right there. Right?
Yeah.
Tough one. They had it as Colorado State's ball on the floor.
They did.
Well, if they're having this much trouble doing it, they should just give it to Colorado State.
And we had this conversation in the first game. And they overturned it. Utah State basketball.
I think that was the right call. It just took a little long.
Yep, and David Hall is pointing to the arm, and that's what we saw on the video. It looked like it last touched the arm of David Roddy.
Well, if they're going to give this a go, they've got to foul right away.
I think Nico Medved wanted a foul earlier. So as Keita caught it, he wanted the foul. It'll be a 1-and-1 for Raleigh Wooster, the freshman from Montana. And he misses, but who's there? Bean, and now he's got a double-double, and he's fouled.
That's the second time in a row that he made that last one happen that went out of bounds off Roddy, and he made this one happen. Just what Roddy didn't keep him out.
Bean now has a double-double in 5 of his last 6 games.
He didn't go straight in. He went around Roddy on that one, and 2 times in a row wreaks havoc on the free throw lane.
Bean's father, Gordon, played at Idaho State, went to the NCAA tournament in 1987, wore number 34, and Justin Bean wearing the same number as his dad. Moore for 3. Moore pulls it back out. Stevens will launch. Long rebound, Moore. He races behind the line, but will feed Roddy. And there's another block. Make it 8 for Keita. Keita's everywhere. And now we have a whistle inside. And that's going to go on the Rams.
Great block there. Dominating game defensively.
Two blocks away from a triple-double with 20.7 to go.
Going to be a long night tomorrow night for Colorado State.
Tomorrow night on the East Coast, but
yeah,
we're still 2 nights away here on the West Coast.
Oh, excuse me. That's right, I forgot. Well, for another 25 minutes.
Stevens to Moores. Oh, 9 blocks for Keita.
They don't have to foul.
And that'll do it. Utah State is marching back into the Mountain West Championship game. They'll have a chance at a three-peat tomorrow against San Diego State. A huge win for the Aggies in their NCAA tournament resume. The one thing they were really lacking was a win away from home, and now they have a neutral court victory over Colorado State. And for the 3rd consecutive year, it's San Diego State and Utah State in the championship game tomorrow at 6 Eastern on CBS.
Yeah, just a great win for Utah State. I mean, they gave up 50 points to a team that had scored 70 or more 4 games in a row. So they did a terrific job on the defensive end of the floor.
Craig Smith is now 12-1 in the month of March and 8-0 at the Mountain West tournament since taking over as the Utah State head coach. Craig, congratulations. Another win in March for you. You're back in the championship game, and the big guy had it going on both ends of the floor. Can you talk about the performance of Keita tonight?
Well, Nemi's a difference maker in every way, shape, and form. And obviously, I don't know how many block shots he ended up with, but there was a bunch of them, and he's an eraser without a doubt. And then on the offensive end, he has tremendous feel, knows how to play, scores it around the basket, missed a couple that he normally makes. But, you know, we played him a lot of minutes. It's not many times that you can play a guy, 36 probably minutes or so, something like that. And I kept asking him in the second half, are you good? Are you good? He's like, yes. And he kind of gave me that scowl. I was like, oh, okay. All right, I'll stay away. Next thing you know, he's going to give the Matumbo finger wave. But that's a heck of a win. You know, Colorado State's had a great season, and they beat us the last time we played. And so we had that on our minds, and we were pumped to play. Obviously, they slowed us down a little bit and got us out of rhythm there late. We had that 15-point lead, but our guys executed defensively, and we found just enough.
I'm going to do what I used to hate people do to me when I won a game, which is ask you about tomorrow already. You swept San Diego State during the season. What kind of problems do they present for you?
Well, they're an excellent team, as we all know, and they're very well coached, and they play super hard. And you know, I think they're so good defensively. Not that they can't score. They got all kinds of weapons with Mitchell and Shackle, and Mensah's playing well, and just the list goes on and on. They can really, really stretch you out, but they're just so good defensively. And when we got hired here 3 years ago, we were going to hang our hat on that as well. And, you know, this is 3 years in a row now where San Diego State and Utah State in the title game, and it's two heavyweights going at it, and we're going to have to play really well to find a way to win. But that's a great problem to have. It'll be a quick turnaround. You know, the guys will go to bed about 1:30 tonight probably after film with the late start. And but what a great opportunity in front of us again, and it should be a heck of a battle.
Coach, great win. Congratulations and good luck in the championship game.
All right, thanks. Go Aggies.
There he is, Craig Smith, undefeated at the Mountain West Conference Tournament. He's now 8-0 as the Aggies head coach. Once again, our final score, 62-50 in favor of the Aggies. For Steve Lapis, our entire crew, I'm Andrew Catalan. After the break, we'll take you back to our New York studio for Inside College Basketball Bracket Week, presented by Kubota. So long from Las Vegas.